I thought the pain ended when I buried my husband, but I was wrong, because just 2 weeks after his funeral, my own sister stood up at a birthday party and said something that froze every heart in the room. She said, "My son is your husband's child." Then she smiled, like it was nothing, and showed me my husband's will. "I'll be taking half your $500,000 house," she said. Everyone gasped. I didn't. I looked at her and whispered, "Oh, I see." Because what she didn't know was that I already knew everything, and what came next would leave her speechless. After my husband James's funeral, the world felt quiet. Too quiet. The house was too big, too empty, too cold. His cologne still lingered on the pillow. His voice still echoed in my head. People said, "You're strong, Sarah." But I didn't feel strong. I felt lost. Until one morning, I got an invitation, a birthday card, from my sister Linda. "You need family right now," it read. "Please come to my son's 2nd birthday." I almost threw it away, but something told me to go. Maybe I wanted to feel normal again. Maybe I wanted to see her face. I wore a simple black dress, the same one I'd worn to the funeral. When I arrived, the backyard was full of laughter, balloons, music, smiles, everything I didn't feel inside. Linda greeted me with open arms. "Sarah, you made it," she said too sweetly. Her perfume was overwhelming. Her smile, too wide, too practiced. "Let's just be happy today," she said. I nodded. Sure. But I could feel something off, like the air itself was waiting for something. She was glowing, but not from joy, from pride, from confidence. I didn't know why, not yet. But I was about to find out. The kids played, the cake came out, laughter filled the air. Then Linda tapped her glass with a spoon. Ting, ting, ting. "Everyone," she said loudly, "I have an announcement." The laughter died. Even the children stopped moving. My heart sank. Something inside me whispered, "Don't trust that tone." She looked straight at me. "Sarah," she said, "I think you deserve to know the truth." My breath caught. "What truth?" I asked quietly. She smiled like she'd just won. "My son is James's child. Your husband's child." The crowd gasped. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." I froze. Her words hit like ice. "What?" I managed to whisper. She nodded proudly. "Yes. And since he's James's heir, I'll be taking half of your house as inheritance." She held up a piece of paper. "Here's the will. Proof." My hands stayed still. My eyes didn't move. But my mind, started racing. I knew that signature. I'd watched James sign his name hundreds of times. This one looked wrong. Too straight. Too cold. Not his. I took one breath, then smiled. A small, quiet smile. "Oh, I see," I said softly. She blinked. "That's it?" she asked. "You're not going to fight me?" I shook my head. "Thanks for letting me know, Linda." The guests looked at each other, confused. They expected screaming, crying, drama. But I just turned and walked out. Calm, cold, because she had no idea what she'd just done. That night I sat in James's study. The lamp cast a soft glow on the wooden desk, his handwriting still on the notepad, his scent still lingering in the air. I opened the bottom drawer. There it was, the envelope he'd given me 3 weeks before he died. Open if something doesn't feel right. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside, legal papers, his real will. Signed, sealed, notarized. Everything in my name. Not a word about Linda. My eyes filled with tears. But there was something else. A small USB drive. I plugged it into his old laptop. A video appeared. I pressed play. His face filled the screen. My husband, smiling faintly. "Sarah," he said softly, "if you're watching this, it means something went wrong after I was gone." My heart stopped. I want you to know, he continued, I've already protected you. Anyone who tries to take what's yours can't. Trust your instincts, especially about your sister. I took a breath. I know you, Sarah. You'll handle it with grace. The video ended. Silence. I wiped my tears and smiled. Oh, James, I whispered. You knew. I picked up the fake will Linda had shown me, folded it neatly, slipped it into an envelope. On the front, I wrote her name, Linda. The next morning, I called our lawyer. He confirmed it. The will she showed was a forgery, a clumsy one. She'd copied an old document and printed her name in. I laughed softly. Of course she did, I said. That evening, I called Linda. Come over, I told her. We need to talk. Bring the will. She hesitated. Are you sure? Positive, I said calmly. It's time we clear things up. I could hear the smugness in her voice. Finally ready to hand over the house? Something like that, I said. When she arrived that night, I was waiting in the living room. The fireplace was lit. Her fake smile was back. Sarah, I didn't expect this so soon. I'm full of surprises, I said. Sit down. She sat, crossing her legs. I brought the will, she said proudly. Good, I whispered. I brought something too. I handed her the envelope. What's this? She asked. Something you should see. She opened it, pulled out the real will, and froze. Her eyes widened, her lips trembled. What is this? The truth, I said quietly. James left everything to me, not to you, not to your lies. She stammered. But the DNA, the child, that's not James's son, I said. He took a test. I have the report. Her hands shook. She dropped the fake paper. The sound echoed like thunder. You can leave now, I said softly, before I call the police. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. For once Linda was speechless. She stood up slowly. Her eyes darted everywhere. You knew, she whispered. Since the beginning. I nodded. James warned me. You always underestimate people who love quietly. She turned and left. The door closed behind her. The house fell silent again. I looked at the fire and whispered, Rest now, James. It's over. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. But people like Linda, they don't give up that easily. 2 days later, I woke up to the sound of my phone buzzing. 10 missed calls, all from the same number, unknown. Then a message appeared. You think you've won? Watch the news. My stomach dropped. I turned on the TV, and there she was, my sister, standing outside my house, crying into a reporter's microphone. My sister stole my child's inheritance, she sobbed. She's destroying our family. My blood ran cold. She'd gone public. She knew exactly what she was doing. The cameras loved her fake tears. The world believed her. Within hours, my phone was flooded with hate messages. Greedy widow? How could you take from a child? Shame on you. I closed my eyes and whispered, Stay calm. James told me once, truth doesn't scream, it waits. So I waited. The next morning, my lawyer called. Sarah, this is getting serious, he said. She filed a lawsuit. I sighed. Of course she did. She claims her son is biologically James's heir, he continued. We'll need the DNA test. I have it, I said. I opened the safe, took out the sealed envelope. James had left it right next to his will. I scanned it quickly. Result, 0% paternal match. I smiled. She's going to regret this. That afternoon, I dressed in black again. Not for grief this time, for war. The court was packed. Reporters everywhere. Linda sat across the room holding her child. She looked fragile, innocent, like a perfect performance. Her lawyer stood beside her, tall and confident. Mine leaned in and whispered, "Ready?" "More than ever," I said. The judge entered. "Case 432B, Linda versus Sarah Thompson," he announced. The room fell silent. Linda's lawyer began. "Your Honor, this poor woman lost her brother-in-law, only to discover he was also the father of her child." Gasps filled the room. "My client only wants what's rightfully hers." Linda wiped fake tears from her face. I stayed still, calm. Then my lawyer stood. "Your Honor, the defense has proof this claim is false." He held up the DNA report. "Scientific evidence showing no biological relation between the child and the deceased." The judge leaned forward. "Is this verified?" "Yes, Your Honor," my lawyer said confidently. "It's notarized and time-stamped by the hospital." Linda's smile faltered. Her lawyer frowned. "Objection? Forged," he shouted. The judge sighed. "We'll send it to lab verification." Linda's face turned pale. She knew the truth would surface soon. The hearing ended. Reporters swarmed us outside. "Sarah, any comments?" "I just want peace," I said calmly. "That's all I've ever wanted." That night, I sat by the fireplace again, watching the flames dance like restless ghosts. I wondered what had happened to my sister. When did jealousy become her fuel? When did she stop being family? A knock broke the silence. I hesitated. Another knock, louder this time. I opened the door. It was Linda. Her eyes were wild, her hair a mess. "You ruined me," she screamed. "You and your perfect husband." "Linda, go home," I said softly. "It's over." "No," she shouted. "You don't get to have everything." Her voice cracked. She took a step closer. "Do you even know why James spent so much time with me?" My heart skipped. "What are you talking about?" She smirked. "He didn't love you, Sarah. He pitied you." I stayed silent. "He told me once, you were boring." I clenched my fist. "Stop," I said. "No, you'll hear it," she screamed. "He came to me because he couldn't stand your sadness." My breath trembled. But then I saw it. The shake in her hands. The madness in her eyes. She wasn't telling the truth. She was breaking. "Linda," I whispered, "this isn't you." "Oh, it's me," she hissed. "And soon everyone will know your perfect life was a lie." "Leave before I call the police," I warned. She laughed. A cold, twisted sound. "You think I'm scared? You'll see." Then she turned and ran into the darkness. I stood there, frozen. The night felt heavier than ever. My mind replayed her words. "He pitied you." I knew they weren't true, but still, they hurt. I locked the door, sat back by the fire, and whispered, "What are you planning, Linda?" The next morning, the answer arrived. A letter slid under my door. No address, no stamp, just one line inside. "If you don't give up the house, I'll tell the world his secret." My heart raced. His secret? I didn't know James had any. I searched his office for hours. Files, papers, old letters, nothing. Then I noticed the photo frame on the shelf. It looked slightly crooked. I lifted it, and behind it was a small keyhole. My breath caught. A hidden drawer. I found the key inside his desk pen holder. Click. The drawer slid open. Inside were old documents. And one photograph. James standing with a woman I didn't recognize. She was holding a baby. On the back, in his handwriting, "For Sarah, when she's ready." My hands shook. Who was this woman? And what was I supposed to be ready for? My phone buzzed again. Another message from Linda. "I warned you. Tomorrow everyone will know I looked back at the photo, at James's gentle smile, at the mystery woman beside him." My voice trembled as I whispered, What did you hide from me, James? Outside, thunder rolled in the distance. The storm and the truth were both coming. That night, I couldn't sleep. Every shadow looked like her. Every sound felt like a threat. Until, just before dawn, my phone lit up again. A video link from Linda. I hesitated, then pressed play. The screen showed James talking to that same woman. "I'll tell her soon," he said. "She deserves to know." The woman nodded. "You think she'll forgive you?" "She always does," he replied softly. The video cut off there. My heart shattered. Was he cheating on me? Or was it something else? I couldn't breathe. I stared at the frozen screen, my reflection over his face. "What did you do, James?" I whispered. The room felt colder. Louder thunder shook the walls. And I knew. Linda had just opened the door to a truth even I wasn't ready for. The storm outside roared, but the real storm was just beginning. The next morning I couldn't even look in the mirror. My eyes were red, my hands trembling. I kept replaying that video. James and that woman, the way he looked at her, the softness in his voice. It didn't sound like business. It sounded personal. "She deserves to know." "Know what, James? What did you hide from me?" My chest ached, but I had no time to cry. Inda had the video, and she was planning to release it. I had to find the truth before she twisted it. I called the lawyer. "Can you trace this woman?" I asked, sending him the photo. "I'll try," he said. "Give me a day." But I didn't have a day. I needed answers now. I searched through James's old emails, hundreds of them. Then, one caught my eye. Subject: about the clinic visit. My pulse quickened. The message was 3 years old. I clicked it open. The sender's name: Dr. Emily Rhodes. She wrote, "James, I understand your decision. It's never easy, but you're doing the right thing for Sarah." My throat tightened. What decision? I searched the name online. A fertility doctor. My mind spun. Could it be? Number. We had never talked about that. I remembered the nights we cried about not having kids. James had said, maybe it's just not meant to be. But what if he was hiding something else? My phone rang. It was the lawyer again. "Sarah, I found her. The woman in the photo. Who is she?" I whispered. "Her name's Emily Rhodes." My heart stopped, the same name. "She's not just a doctor," he continued. "She was James's medical contact. She helped him with something confidential. Can you get me her address?" "Already sent," he said. I grabbed my keys, drove through the rain, the wipers slicing the storm. My thoughts were chaos. Betrayal, fear, confusion, all tangled together. When I reached the small white house, I hesitated at the door, then knocked. A few seconds later, the door opened. A woman in her 40s stood there, kind eyes, tired face. "You must be Sarah," she said softly. My breath caught. "You know who I am?" She nodded slowly. "James told me you'd come one day." My knees went weak. He told you that?" She motioned for me to come inside. The living room smelled of coffee and paper. A photo of a little girl sat on the shelf. I sat down, gripping my purse. "Please," I whispered, "tell me everything." Emily sighed deeply. "James was my patient before he was my friend." "Patient?" I echoed. She nodded. "He came to me 4 years ago. He'd been diagnosed with something serious." My breath hitched. What was it? "A rare heart condition. He was told he might not live more than 5 years." I froze. My heart dropped into silence. He never told me. He didn't want you to suffer," she said gently. "He wanted you to live freely, not in fear." I covered my face. Tears burned through my fingers. He kept it a secret, I whispered. Emily nodded. He loved you too much to let you watch him fade. My sobs filled the room. For the first time, I understood his distance, his quiet sadness, the nights he stared at the stars, saying nothing. He also wanted to leave something behind, Emily added, something that could live on, a child. I looked up, stunned. What do you mean? She walked to a cabinet and pulled out a sealed envelope. He wanted you to have this after he was gone. My trembling hands took it. Inside, medical forms and a letter. James's handwriting again. My dearest Sarah, it began. If you're reading this, it means Emily has finally told you. I wanted us to have a child. I went through a procedure to preserve that chance. If one day you choose to, you can still bring a part of me into the world. My heart ached so deeply it hurt to breathe. He froze his embryos, Emily explained softly. He wanted you to decide when you were ready. I cried harder. He wasn't cheating, I whispered. He was trying to give me hope. Emily smiled sadly. He really loved you. I wiped my tears. But Linda, she's going to twist this. She'll say he had a secret child. Then show them the truth, Emily said. Show them his letter. I nodded. I left her house with the letter in my bag and a storm still raging in my chest. When I reached home, Linda's car was waiting outside. She was sitting in it, engine running. I parked beside her. She rolled down her window. So? She said coldly. Found out who she was? I looked straight at her. Yes, I said. And you'll regret what you've done. She smirked. You think anyone will believe your sob story now? I pulled out the letter. This is James's handwriting, I said. This is his truth. She frowned. What is that? The reason you'll never win. She snatched it from my hand, but I had already made copies. You're pathetic, she spat. Still defending a man who lied to you? He didn't lie, I said quietly. He protected me. Her eyes burned with envy. You always think you're the victim, she hissed. But you're not. You're just lucky. No, I said firmly. I'm loved. She froze. For a second, I saw guilt flicker in her eyes. But then she laughed. Love doesn't save you, she said. Secrets destroy everyone. Then she drove away, tires screeching on the wet road. I stood there in the rain, clutching the letter to my chest. You were right, James, I whispered. She'll never understand love. That night, I scanned every page of the letter, saved it in multiple places, because deep down I knew Linda wasn't done, and the next move she made wouldn't just be legal, it would be dangerous. I checked the locks twice, closed the curtains, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was being watched. At midnight, a shadow moved past my window. I froze, heart pounding. Another movement, closer this time. I grabbed the phone. Hello? I whispered. Silence. Then, a soft tap at the glass. My breath hitched. I turned slowly. There, in the reflection, was a face. Linda's, staring straight at me through the window. I dropped the phone. Linda! I shouted. But when I ran outside, she was gone. Just tire tracks on the wet driveway and a piece of paper taped to my door. One sentence written in red ink. If I can't have him, neither can you. I tore it down. My hands shook uncontrollably. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about revenge. The storm outside howled louder, and I knew this story wasn't over yet. I didn't sleep that night. Every creak, every gust of wind felt like a threat. The letter from James lay on the table, half soaked from my tears. His words echoed in my mind. Trust your instincts, Sarah. My instincts screamed one thing. Linda wouldn't stop. By morning, I had already decided I needed help. I drove to the police station, filed a report, showed them the threats, the note, and the video. The officer nodded slowly. "We'll keep an eye on her," he said, but I saw the look in his eyes. He thought it was just family drama. He didn't know Linda like I did. That evening, I tried to distract myself, made tea, read James's letter again. Then, a knock. Gentle. Too gentle. My heart jumped. "Who is it?" I called out. Silence. Another knock. I stepped closer to the door. My hand shook as I reached for the handle. Suddenly a voice whispered through the crack. "It's me, Sarah." "Linda." I froze. "Go away, Linda," I said firmly. "You need to leave me alone." "Please," she whispered. "Just talk to me." Her voice sounded different, softer, broken. Against my better judgment, I opened the door slightly. She stood there, drenched from rain, her makeup streaked, her eyes swollen. She looked human. "I didn't come to fight," she said quietly. "Then why are you here?" I asked. "Because I need to tell you the truth." My pulse quickened. "What truth?" She hesitated, looked at the floor. "The video you saw. I found it after he died." My breath hitched. "You mean you had it first?" She nodded. "He sent it to me." My mind froze. "What? Why would he do that?" "Because he wanted me to protect you," she said, tears falling. "He knew you'd panic if you saw it without context. But then," she whispered, "I started thinking, if I told people it was about me and him, I'd finally get attention. Money. Pity. So you lied," I said, voice breaking. She nodded again. "Yes, I ruined everything." My anger faded into heartbreak. "Why, Linda? You're my sister because I was jealous," she sobbed. "All my life you were the favorite, the strong one, the loved one." She fell to her knees, crying. "I hated you for being perfect." I stared at her, broken, shaking, lost. "Linda," I whispered, "you could have told me." "I know," she cried, "but then it went too far. The lies, the fake Will, I couldn't stop. Until he came to me." My eyes widened. "Who?" "James," she whispered, "before he died." My knees went weak. "He visited you?" She nodded. "He came to say goodbye. He told me everything. About his illness, about the letter, the doctor, the procedure." My tears started again. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because I thought he loved me," she said softly. The words hit like a knife. "He didn't, Linda," I said gently. "He loved you as family. That's all. I know that now," she whispered. "And I'm so sorry." Silence filled the room, the only sound, the rain tapping on the windows. Then suddenly her eyes widened in fear. "Sarah, your fireplace." I turned. Smoke was pouring out, flames climbing fast. "The letter!" I shouted, running toward it. But the papers on the table had already caught fire. "Help me!" I screamed. Linda grabbed a blanket, trying to smother the flames. The fire roared, spreading faster than we could move. Smoke filled the air, choking us both. "Get out!" I shouted. "Not without you!" She coughed. The ceiling cracked. A beam fell, sparks flying. I grabbed her arm. "Linda, go!" But she wouldn't move. "I did this!" she screamed. "I started it!" "What?" "The lighter. I dropped it outside when I came in." I froze in horror. "Linda!" "I didn't mean to," she cried. "I just wanted to scare you." Another crash. Flames burst through the curtains. I pulled her toward the door. "We're leaving." Now. She resisted at first, then finally stumbled forward. We made it to the porch, coughing, gasping for air. Fire trucks were already on their way. A neighbor must have seen the smoke. I turned to her. Her face was streaked with ash and tears. "Why, Linda?" I whispered. "Because I didn't think you'd forgive me," she cried. "But you just did." My heart broke. "It's over," I said softly. We survived. But she shook her head. Not for me. Before I could react, she stepped back, toward the burning doorway. Linda! No. Tell James I'm sorry, she whispered. Then the flames consumed her silhouette. Linda! I screamed. Firefighters pulled me back as the roof collapsed. I fell to my knees on the wet ground, sobbing. She's gone, one of them said. I'm sorry. The fire raged behind us, devouring everything. The house, the letters, the memories. Everything except the truth. Because I still had one thing left. The USB drive, tucked safely in my pocket. James's voice, his words, his love. The firefighters helped me up. You're lucky to be alive, one said. I nodded weakly. I know, I whispered. The next day, I sat on a hospital bed, bandaged hands, smoke still in my lungs. The detective came in. Ms. Thompson, he said, we found the source of the fire. It was accidental, I nodded slowly. She didn't mean it, I said quietly. She was just lost. He nodded. We also recovered something, a photo frame. He handed it to me. The glass was cracked, but inside was a picture of me, James, and Linda, before everything fell apart. I traced it with my fingertips. We used to be happy, I whispered, before greed destroyed love. That night I played the video one last time. James's voice filled the room. If you're watching this, it means the truth finally came out. I forgive everyone, even those who hurt us. Because love, Sarah, love always wins. I closed my eyes, tears streaming down my face. I forgive you too, Linda, I whispered. The screen faded to black, and for the first time since the funeral, I felt peace. Outside, the sunrise painted the sky gold, a new beginning. But deep inside, I knew this wasn't just the end of a tragedy. It was the start of a new story. My story. A story built not on pain, but on truth. The next months were quiet. I rebuilt what I'd lost, piece by piece. The insurance helped, but it wasn't about money anymore. I planted a garden where the old house once stood. Roses, lilies, and one small olive tree for forgiveness. Every morning I watered it, whispering James's name like a prayer. Sometimes I still heard his laugh in the wind or saw his reflection in the sunrise. Maybe that was just my heart healing. Maybe it was him, watching. One morning, a letter arrived from Dr. Emily. I kept something safe for you, it said. I drove to her clinic that afternoon. She met me with a warm smile. He wanted you to decide when the time was right, she said. And now, I think it is. She handed me a small sealed vial. James's gift, she whispered. My hands trembled. Are you sure? She nodded. He'd want this. Tears filled my eyes again. I clutched it close to my heart. Then let's begin, I said softly. The next few weeks were a blur of hope and waiting. For once, the silence wasn't heavy. It was peaceful. Every morning I whispered, James, guide me. Until one day a test strip changed my world. 2 pink lines. My knees gave out. I pressed my hands over my mouth, sobbing. We did it, I whispered. You're coming back to me. The garden outside swayed in the morning breeze. The olive tree shimmered in sunlight. And for the first time in a long, long time, I smiled. Because even after loss, after lies, after fire, love had found a way to bloom again. And this time, nothing could destroy it. Not envy, not greed, not death, just love, everlasting. The story was over, but life had just begun.